Okay, we're going to continue on in our Father's Word today. I want to read to you something that I skipped over that's about the AB blood type. Now, when the Christ child was conceived by the Holy Spirit, Mother Mary, with the B blood type, Adamic, Jew blood, B blood, she mixed with the Holy Spirit. And Jesus' blood, found on the shroud of Jesus, is the AB blood type. Now, Jesus' blood is the AB blood type because that's what they found on the shroud of Jesus when they did samples of the shroud. Now, God anointed the kings and the queens of the ethnos, the ethnic people, with the AB blood type. It's called royal blood. It's also called the tragic ending blood type. Well, you see what happened to Jesus? Now, JFK, he had the AB blood, and so did Marilyn Monroe. They had AB blood type. So it's called the tragic ending blood type, and so did Lady Diana. Now, these are all called royal blood. And God anointed the kings and the queens of the ethnic people, those 10 kings around the Mediterranean Sea. The old King Louis, there in France, AB blood. Yeah. The king and the queen of England, AB blood. Belgium, Spain, Greece, all those countries around the Mediterranean Sea, their kings were anointed by God with the AB royal blood type. Now, the Tsar of Russia had the AB blood type, and his whole family did. The royal blood type. In 1918, the Bolsheviks, the Russian secret police, took and captured the Tsar of Russia, and then they killed him and his whole family. And they chopped him up into little pieces. And they buried him in a basement over there in Russia. But it stunk so bad, they sprinkled the bodies with lime. Now this is Amos 2. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Moab, or for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Because he burned the bones of the king of Edom, the Edomites, the hairy-armed, hairy-chested, red Russian bears. And they burned the bones of the king of Edom into lime. Now this is Amos 2. So it talks about the Tsar of Russia and how their whole family, his whole family, was killed by the Russians, the Edomites. And let's talk about Edom. How Edom was down in Jordan. And Jordan is where the Edomites settled at. Mount Seir. And they had, that's where Abraham, or where Moses' brother Aaron is buried at, right there at Mount Seir, Edom. And the Edomites, during their time watching Jerusalem get sacked by Nebuchadnezzar the 3rd time, Nebuchadnezzar went to Jerusalem 3 times and really sacked it the last time. Well, the Edomites decided they'd go help. King Nebuchadnezzar sacked Jerusalem. And that really made God mad because that wasn't God's plan. He was supposed to go to Babylon for the 70 years, Judea, and then they were supposed to come back, and then after the 70-year captivity and get their goblets and all the stuff that Nebuchadnezzar stole whenever he sacked Jerusalem from the temple, all those things that Solomon had built. Well, the Edomites, descendants of Esau, decided to go into Jerusalem and help Nebuchadnezzar. And when they did, it made God very angry. And so God sent the Nabatean Arabs from Yemen, spice traders, very powerful and very rich. And the Nabatean Arabs, one of the 12 princes of Arabia, Ishmaelites, the 12 Arabian princes from Ishmael, and Ishmael was from Hagar, the Egyptian handmaid for Abraham. And so one of the 12 tribes, or one of the 12 princes of the Arabians, came into Edom and destroyed Edom. Now Petra is the capital city of Edom, and that's where the giants hung out, because that's a great tourist attraction in Jordan. The greatest of all their tourist attractions in Jordan is Petra, where the giant rooms are, where the giants hung out. So the Edomites not only did that, but they also mixed with the fallen angels. And that was how the giants were created. And God sent Israel into the land of Canaan, the promised land, to destroy the giants. And God said to kill all of them. So Petra, the Edomites, they not only went into Jerusalem and sacked Jerusalem with Nebuchadnezzar, they mixed with the giants, or mixed with the fallen angels, and created giants there in the land of Edom, Jordan of today. Now God destroyed them with the Nabatean Arabs, and so the Edomites ended up settling in the Volga River, Moscow. That's where the hairy-armed, hairy-chested, red Russian bears ended up settling at. And if you read in Ezekiel 38 and 39, he talk about one of the final battles. You got the Tubal and Chief Prince Meshach. They're going into the valley of Gog, Magog, Alaska, right above Juneau. And Hamon-Gog means burial ground for the Russians. It's one of the final battles. You got the valley of Megiddo, Armageddon. Iran, the Persians are going into the valley of Megiddo. They're right outside of Jerusalem. That's one of the final battles, Armageddon. And the other one's the Battle of Magog, Alaska, where the Russians go into the Valley of Gog, a valley right there close to the ocean, not right above Juneau. And Hamon-Gog means burial ground for the Russians. This is Ezekiel 38 and 39. We're fixing to cover Ezekiel, and we'll cover that a little bit better. But if you look up Tubal and Chief Prince Meshach on the internet, you'll see they come from Georgia, that area right below Moscow, real cold country up there. So the Edomites are, why did God love Jacob and hate Esau? Because of what Esau did in the first earth age. That's Romans 9 and Malachi 1. It both tells you. Old Testament and New Testament. Romans 9 and the Old Testament and Malachi 1. Why did God love Jacob and hate Esau even when they were in their mother's womb? Jacob stood by God, but Esau didn't. And that's your hairy-armed, hairy-chested Russian bears. And when the Tsar of Russia and his family was all chopped up, and they stunk so bad down in that basement where they buried them at, that they sprinkled their bodies with lime. And that's right here in Amos 2. I didn't want to miss that. So we're going to continue on in our Father's Word. Here in Amos 5, verse 24. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Have you offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Molech,